Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another sit and talk video. Some huge things to talk about. My contract is up with EV7. What am I going to do? Different putter, new putter, different company. We're not sure. Going to talk about that. Then also, Eagle leaving. Who expected that? I mean, I know that it's been the rumor for, a couple months now with the rumors going around, but, Simon the first time, everyone shocked by him leaving Discmania. And then Eagle, are they preparing to add Gannon, add Alden, add a different very, very good player? Or are they just saying, well, our market share is big enough, where we're at in the market is strong enough, and frankly, if you want to go and make more money or pursue other options, then go ahead. I mean, my take, I think that, Eagle saw opportunities elsewhere and probably offered Discmania, hey, this is what they offered me. And they said, hey, listen, we can't afford that. Now, whether they can't afford that based off of, actual financial reasons or based off of, hey, we're going to add these other players or a different player or whatever, and I think we're going to be fine with the quote-unquote trade. So who knows? I mean, I like Eagle. I think his game style is very fun to watch. Previous to his shoulder injury, I mean, his sidearm backhand combo was probably one of the only ones that rivaled Anthony Barella. So pretty crazy news to see him finally announcing he's leaving. We've all kind of known it. The rumors have been spreading for a while, but, to see him actually pull the trigger, same thing as Simon, when I first heard the rumor of Eagle leaving this offseason, I thought, no way. And then as it became more and more relevant, people move, people do things. At the end of the day, even though we're athletes and we're players, and, I'm sure Eagle loves UC, that at the end of the day, it's a business. And at the end of the day, Eagle's livelihood, his housing, his living, everything relies on business and, sponsorship funds. So, I mean, I'm sure if there's a better opportunity somewhere, that's what he should do. As a fellow human, I'm sure even UC and everyone at Discmania understands that. Now, where is he going? I see a lot of people saying Latitude 64 or whatever. I feel it would be an odd move to move him within House of Discs now, since it's all the same paycheck, that if they can afford to pay him at Latitude, that they would be able to afford to pay him at Discmania. And within the same ownership brand, I don't see a big change. It's not like Latitude is going to offer him something that Discmania couldn't make him or couldn't integrate into being a new thing for him. So I think he's going to end up at a different brand or a different maybe ownership. Maybe the ownership of House of Disc has kind of pushed him away. I've heard from some DD players and or ex-DD players that it's a lot more cutthroat now. It's a lot more, hey, what did you do for us yesterday? If the answer is nothing, you're out of here. So maybe he wanted out of that. I'm not per se sure. Eagle and I are acquaintances. I wouldn't call us friends. We don't, text or talk on any, social media or anything like that. When I see him, I make sure to say hello, and I respect his game a lot, but we're not that close. So the inside of his brain or workings or whatever, I'm not that privy to. This offseason went from being pretty quiet, if they were thinking it's going to be quiet, to being pretty poppy. I own or co-own Finish Line Discs, and we were contacted by a lot of pretty good players this year about joining our team. And obviously working that in with the Infinite Disc, Open Bag sponsorship, or Thought Space, or whoever it might be. But I was amazed at the amount of players that simply reached out and said, hey, I'd love to be on the team. Hey, and for one, that's flattering for me because, this is going to be our third year. So to have these players who had won pro tours or, whatever, want to be on our team was a pretty honoring feeling, to be honest with you. And people who were interested and shared an expression and wanting to be on our team meant a lot to me. But it also shows that the market is changing. I mean, during COVID, if you had discs on the shelf, they sold. If you could make 10,000 discs a month, 10,000 discs a month sold. And Innova and Discraft and all these companies were having a tougher time keeping their putters and their mid-ranges and their drivers on the rack. So it gave the smaller companies who had stock opportunity to gain some market share and make a push. The problem with that is that some of these companies saw, oh, well, first year we did great, or second year, or 20th year, oh, blah, 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 big contract, big contract, big contract. Now you have 5 people making a pretty large size contract, and obviously disc golf has slowed down. I mean, the attendance at tournaments has slowed down. The watching on YouTube and DGN seemingly has slowed down from the peak of COVID. And that means there's less people playing, less people interested, and less people buying product. So I think some of these companies are realizing, what the heck, like we don't have the funds to pay all these players anymore. And if we do, what is going to happen? Where are we going to go? What's going on? Eagle's out. Kevin's looks like he's moving. Emerson left Lone Star, which was a huge shock to me. I thought that, Texas kid, he won a pro tour. He seemed like he was in pretty good over there, just to up and leave, and from what I heard, get no, the final offer was nothing. They offered him something that was less, and he didn't take it, and then, they just, from what I heard, pulled the offer off the table entirely, which is a kind of crazy thing to do to a pro tour winner, and someone who represented your company for the first year and did a great job, and, whatever. But again, business is business. Maybe they, don't see the value in top players at that pay structure. Who knows? But as for me, as for EV7, when I joined EV7, Phil Arthur, the owner of EV7, contacted me and said, hey, I'm starting up this putter-only brand. I really, really want you to be involved. And I said, listen, Phil, I'm a horrible putter, for one, so I don't know why you picked me to represent your putter-only brand. But second of all, I can't really afford to miss any more putts. So if the putter doesn't induce confidence or make me more putts, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, because no amount of money at the time was really worth me missing more putts. I would have, I was already arguably one of the worst putters. So, I tried the Penrose, which was the only mold they had at the time. They sent me the Penrose, I think, in 3 plastics and said, hey, try these. You'll probably like them. And I putted with it, and initially I was impartial. And the more I tested it, the more I putted better. But the more I tested, also the more I practiced. So more practice, more putting, better putter. Makes sense. And so for the last 3 seasons, I feel like people, have their opinion, but I feel like I've announced myself as one of the people who's improved the most at putting. Not saying I'm the best. There was times where, I made a million jump putts, or I made a lot of putts in the circle, or whatever, but I don't think that I was the best putter by any stretch of the term. But I think that from where I was in 2018-19 to where I was using the Penrose, I think it was a noticeably huge difference. So for me, I really have enjoyed the Penrose. I've loved the Penrose, and I don't plan to switch. My contract is up. I am going to try the Judge, the KC Pro AVR, the Pure. I'm going to try a bunch of putters, and if I feel that one of those putters somehow makes me a better putter, I probably will approach those companies and say, hey, would you be willing to sponsor me for a putter-only position in my bag, which for a company, the putter gets used every single hole. So, that it's one of the discs that would get the most promotion and the most action on coverage, or, talked about. People, you make a 50-footer, oh, it's the putter he's using. Not to say single-handedly, but I made the Penrose pretty popular my first season, just because of how well I played and the stuff I did with the putter. People, I coined the phrase like Ezra did with the nuke, Penrose, baby, or, Casey White with the tilt. But overall, I have no plans of switching away from EV7 unless there's a putter that I just outperforms this. If there's an outperformer, I play for a living, I want to win tournaments. My arm's finally getting back to the point where I can confidently come out here in the backyard and putt hundreds of putts a day and throw and enjoy the game. So I want to give myself, going into 2024 and beyond, the best opportunity I can in order to succeed. And obviously on every single hole, again, you have to putt. So if I become a better putter with a different unit, then that's what I'm going to use. And hopefully that company is willing to offer me a sponsorship. If I test all these putters and this is still the leader, then, I'm going to be happy to stay with EV7, and it's going to be the putter that I continue to use for, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 years. There's a offer on the table. It's better than my previous contract, so I'm not considering leaving or moving due to money or anything like that. Phil and I have a beautiful relationship. Just simply, my contract is up. It was a 3-year-long contract. I fulfilled it. I did my part. I played well. I won some tournaments. And so now as an athlete, I feel I have the right to explore some options here with my contract being up. And if there's a putter that performs better for me, that's what I'm going to use. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully that gives you guys a little insight on some of the pros, what Eagle's doing, what I'm doing, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.